my name is Margarita.
Hi, my name is Janna. Welcome to our informational video of stress and its effects on the brain. In this video, you will learn how stress affects the brain, including function and structure. Here are some practical steps that you can take to cope with the stress and promote well-being. So sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the fascinating world of stress and the brain.
Let's start by answering the question, what is stress? While stress is often considered a negative experience, it's important to note that not all stress is harmful. In fact, in the short term, stress enables us to respond quickly to threats and survive. It also enables us to respond to situations that do not really threaten our lives, but require extra energy and concentration, such as competitive sports and public speaking. Stress can be classified into two different categories, physical stress and psychological stress. Physical stress elicits unconscious or automatic responses that involves the brainstem, which regulates heartbeat and breathing, and the hypothalamus, which maintains homeostasis in the body. Psychological stress now is more common in our world. Social judgment stress, such as giving a speech, or situations in which one feels will be negatively judged by others, triggers both cognitive and physical stress responses. They are perceived anticipatory, which triggers anxiety and can rely heavily on the limbic structures that process emotions and memory.
If we have learned what stress is, let's now delve into the neurobiology of stress. The so-called stress system includes several brain regions that work together to recognize stressors, evaluate situations, and then initiate a response. When we experience stress, our bodies undergo a series of physiological and biochemical changes that prepare us to deal with a perceived threat. These changes are coordinated by two main systems, the sympathetic adrenal medulla and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. The sympathetic adrenal medulla is responsible for the fight or flight response we experience during acute stress. This system activates the release of adrenaline and noradrenaline, which increase heart rate, blood pressure, and respiration rate. These changes help us respond quickly to the stressor, such as running away from a dangerous animal. The HPA axis now is responsible for the longer-term stress response. When the brain senses a stressor, the hypothalamus releases corticotropin-releasing hormone, which signals the pituitary gland to release adrenocorticotropin hormone. ACTH then stimulates the adrenal glands to release cortisol, which helps mobilize energy and suppress inflammation. This response is essential for coping with chronic stress, such as work-related stress. However, chronic stress can lead to dysregulation of the HPA axis, resulting in overproduction of cortisol and other stress hormones. This can have negative effects on the brain and body, including changes in brain structure and function, suppression of the immune system, and increased risk for chronic physical and mental diseases. But don't panic, there are ways to manage stress and help us become more resilient to it. The term stress management refers to using our natural self-healing abilities to help us recover from stressful situations and return to a state of homeostasis.
Let's have a look at some of the techniques that can help us manage stress. While stress seems inventable, there are effective techniques that can help us manage it and overcome stress. Let's dive into the world of stress management techniques, especially the adaptive ones. These techniques have been proven to be effective. One of the most popular approaches is physical exercise. It does not only increase your fitness, but also improves resilience to stress. For example, yoga has been shown in numerous studies to reduce stress and its symptoms. In addition to physical exercise and yoga, there are many other stress management techniques you can try. For example, relaxation, meditation, mindfulness, breathing exercise, and maintaining good sleep hygiene habits. This all sounds good, and I'm sure you've tried some of these approaches, but how do they actually work? Let's talk about the neurobiology of adaptive stress management. When we engage in activities and behaviors that bring us pleasure, our brain automatically evaluates them for the potential to reduce stress. This happens through limbic reward and pleasure pathways. For example, when we experience yoga as stress-reducing, our brain releases reward molecules that imprint a positive memory of that behavior on our brain. As a result, our brain learns that yoga is beneficial and makes us feel good, and we will be more likely to practice it again. This fascinating self-regulatory assessment works through the same reward and pleasure pathways for all stress management behaviors. Whether you meditate, do breathing exercises, listen to music, or jog, your brain automatically assesses its stress reduction potential.
So don't worry if yoga and exercise aren't your thing. Discover the alternative path to stress relief with cognitive coping strategies. Cognitive coping strategies fall into three different categories: appraisal focus, problem focus, and emotional focus. Appraisal focused coping involves changing the way you think about the stressful situation. For example, if your parents put a lot of pressure on you to do well in school, you can evaluate their expectations as a sign of how much they believe in your abilities. Problem-focused coping means taking action to manage a potential stressor. This includes identifying the problem, coming up with a solution, and creating an action plan. For example, if you have an exam, you might decide to study more, attend every class, and join a study group to make sure you really understand the material. Emotion-focused coping is all about changing the way you feel or react emotionally to stress. This can include focusing on the emotions that a stressor triggers and accepting them. For example, you can take a few deep breaths or use meditation or relaxation techniques to calm yourself down when you're feeling stressed.
We get it. It's a lot to take in, but let's simplify things and make it fun. Here are some practical tips that you can use when you're feeling stressed. What's causing you stress? Are you having financial problems or are you missing home? Once you've identified the cause of the problem, it is easier to seek support and solve the problem. Second, take care of yourself and make space for things you love to do. If you feel stressed, try to avoid alcohol, coffee, and other substances that can add to stress. Third, break the problem down into smaller goals. Creating a plan for how and when to accomplish each goal can be helpful when there are many deadlines to meet and a large workload to manage. Finally, try to avoid ruminating and getting stuck in endless loops of negative thoughts. This is easier said than done, but there are many mindfulness and meditation apps you can download to your phone that offer an easy way to incorporate mindfulness into your daily life.
So, thank you for joining us on this stress and brain adventure. We hope you're feeling armed with knowledge and ready to handle any stress that comes your way. And remember, stress is a normal part of life, but don't let it get to you.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye everyone, and thank you for watching.